Sanibona, ngaphambi singene kwivideo namuhla, ngithi angithathe lethuba ngibonge isupport nothando enikhombise lona lingaphezulu kokucabanga kwethu. Siyacela niqhubeke nisisupport njalo ngokubuka amavideo ethu, ungakhohlwa ukukhomenta, ushare, ulike. Siyafisa ukuzwa umbono wakho. Sicela ke singene kwivideo namuhla. Inyanga ezedlule sesacaphuna ivideo kamama uPheme Majotina Minister of Water and Sanitation. Lapho bekhuluma khona ngenkinga ye-water tank mafias, labantu labo kuthiwa ama-water tank mafias, okuyibona abantu abakwazi ukumosha infrastructure efuneka ilethela abantu amanzi ukuze bona bezokwazi ukuthi balethele abantu amanzi. Kwesinye isikhathi banesandla bona ekuthenini abantu bangafakelwa amanzi, bangalethelwa amanzi, ngoba lokho kuyobe kusho ukuthi umsebenzi kuba usuphelile. Kodwa ayikho into engijabulise njengokubukela i-portfolio committee ebikhona izolo njengoba bekuyi-joint sitting la bekukhulunywa khona omasipala behlukahlukene bezokhuluma bezo-accounta kodwa ngathola ukuthi iTshwane iza ne-solution ezoyehlisa lesihlava. Yabona, ngeke ngisho kubantu ngithi i-problem akukona ukuvota. So umuntu othatha isinqumo sokuyeka ukuvota uyiphathi yenkinga akayisolve. I-problem zokuvotela abantu abarong, kodwa abantu abaright bakhona. So angikhankaseli muntu ngoba phela uma ngase ngikhulume la kuzothiwa khona engimkhankaselayo, kodwa angikwazi ukuhlala ngingamncoma umuntu ebenza umsebenzi omuhle noncomekayo. Yebo, khona uthe omunye mangincoma uDr Nasiphi Moya lapha eCity of Tshwane, ngimncoma ngomsebenzi owenziwayo ngoba uphansi kwe-Action SA, wathi no kodwa akayedwa i-coalition, ngathi no kodwa ekugcineni kosuku umeya. Yonke iblame yakumeya ayiblame yena nama-coalition partners, iblame yena njengomeya ukuthi uyo responsible. So namanje iTshwane iza nesixazululo. Ingakho ngithi no, angicaphunele portfolio committee, ngizofuna ukuthi iqale bakhave le ndaba ye-water tank mafia, bese siza kwemibuzo ke ezobuzwa, bese ke beza kuyimpendulo zabo. Kodwa nje ingijabulisile le, ingenze ngazizwa nginenjabulo ngoba le nkinga ekuthiwa ikhona, kukhona abantu abayixazululayo. Engisengifisa sengathi omasipala bangabonela lapha eTshwane. Angakubambeleli, angakudlela isikhathi, ngicela uzwe la.
Water tankering is a problem. What are we doing? One, there's a committee that we have established to develop alternative sources of supply. We're working as well with different institutions, your CSIR, your Water Research Commission, your University of Pretoria. The brief to the University of Pretoria is for them to do a cost-benefit analysis, wherein we're saying they must compare what will be the ultimate cost if we own that fleet to provide water. We do have own fleet, but it is not adequate to provide to those communities. So that is underway.
If I can just fill in on one question that was not fully addressed. I think the issue of mafias, Honorable Member, we do have water tanker mafias, we do have transformer mafias in the city. The water tankers, a few Fridays ago, after we made this decision to reduce the number of days in which we deliver water, there were people who had rifles who were stopping service providers from getting water from the hydrants. And we did not change the decision because obviously it had financial implications. But we do have that kind of a mafia in the city. On the side of transformers, even for ESCOM, it's not only for us. When we go to the informal settlements where we have not given electricity, there are many ESCOMs and many City of Tshwane that own transformers and making communities to pay. What we have decided to do is to identify 6 informal settlements that we are busy metering as we speak. And with that 6, it's our pilot project. While we have issued an RFP for those who can give alternative sources for sanitation and watering services. What we also did on the side of water tankers is also part of the pilot. We're in the process of procuring 15 water tankers. especially for emergency delivery, where there's a case where normally people would get water from their taps, but there's a problem with the infrastructure. So those water tankers should be delivered before the end of the financial year. We're doing the same with waste, which is another challenge that we had last year, that when we changed the conditions of the waste contractors, we had a boycott where for a number of days we couldn't collect waste. We then took a decision that we need to go the internal capacity route, but we need the study to just give us an indication if that's the most cost-effective way to do so. The last point is that on the side of corruption that we found at supply chain, there's work that is being done. I was hoping my colleagues will touch on that, but we are going full-blown on the online tendering system. We have done it in phases. Now we're up to 750,000 rand in terms of the tenders that are being processed through the digital platform. We are starting the pilot in the month of November for the open tender system to go online, with the plan that in the next financial year, all the tenders will be processed online. So I thought, let me just add on those two, Chair. Thank you so much.
Maduze zizokhala eTshwane. Maduze yabona nje wasebethi nje end of this financial year. Ayafika ama-water tank azobe onomasipala, azobe bezionela bona as City of Tshwane. Uyaphela umsebenzi kwabanye abantu, ingakho kuthiwa bathatha ibhamu bayophazamisa. And bengingakaze ngayinaka-ke ukuthi kanti ngisho nokuqoqwa kwedoti, i-waste collection, ingxenye yokuthi lama mafia angenile ngayo. Njengoba abafundi omasipala, ngcono lezi zinto zenziwe ngaphakathi. Wake wayisho uMalema lento le. Ingamanye wama-pillars, lento abayishoyo, ingamanye wama-pillars we-EFF, ukuthi akusetshenziswe state capacity. I-state akube khona izinto esizi-ownayo zenzeke kwi-state. Le mali efana iye kubantu ithuthukise la kwi-state, ngoba le mali ephumayo ngamathenda, imali efana ngabe iyaseyiveka uma i-state siney'nto zazo nje nasizulu singixaka ngisazi sengizothini, kodwa i-state must owna izinto zaso as i-state. Ya, isizulu siyangibalekela namhlanje, angazi kwenze njani. Siqhubeke futhi ngiyafisa ukuchaza amanye amagama. Ngizozwa ngani la ku-comment section uma kufanele siwachaze. Ngizwile nje umeya ethi i-RFP, RFP, i-request for i-proposal. Fanele sizichaze lezi zinto ukuthi yini, ukuze wena olalela ugcine sowazi ukuthi kukhulunywa ngani, kwenzakalani. Kodwa nje angicaphunela imibuzo ney'mpendulo bese siyayivala ivideo.
Thank you. Let's get the next set of questions.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to start by, I'm not shocked anyway, because Tshwane, fortunately I'm a resident as well there. But the unavailability of getting to a mayor and to the city manager, if I am unable to get hold of you, trying to get to your secretaries, you'll always have stories. I've been battling to get, in fact, before you as well, but with the city manager, it's been long. I just want to ask one question. I'll start with this one. Non-compliance with Section 131 of the PMFA. Why? Why are you not complying? 240 disciplinary cases were finalized. And saying finalized is not good enough. Then what happened? They were finalized, then what? Number two, the issue the mayor which promised the citizen of Tshwane that the issue of water in Region 2 in Hammanskraal will be resolved by the end of March. I'm sitting here, I went to Hammanskraal, that matter is still not resolved. Our people are drinking water which are not healthy for their lives. There's been so many promises about the Hammanskraal water issue. Please, let's not play with our people. Please, let's not lie. Number three, the people of Canaan, in the R225 road, they closed the road there. Completely closed the road. I had to call the police to help because they were not allowing vehicle to pass through that road because of the issue of water, as you said, Executive Mayor, about non-payment and that. And my plea to you and your executive, can you please again open this relief plan? Because elderly people, and some people were ignorant because there was no enough awareness to say that you'll be closing somewhere. I think it was April or May. Can you please revisit that again for our people? Because as you said here, that some money you cannot recover. In Zitobeni and Kangala.
Just hold on. Excuse me, just hold on. Just stand up, sir. You? Yes. No. Gentleman with a nice shirt. You are taking records. In terms of our rules here, you couldn't do that without permission. So, are you working in this, Tshwane? You're working where? In the legislature? As a member? As a staff? Okay. No, we have rules here. You don't just take, you request, get permission, and be allowed. As it turns out, the light is so harsh, it's even disturbing the members' vision. So, how will we know you've deleted? Go over that side and just declare your innocence. Please proceed.
I'll contextualize soon, Chair.
And by the way,
I'm beat now.
you had gone past
almost
your
done.
time.
I'm almost done, Chair.
You've done over your time.
Yeah, the last but one as well, as I was talking about the issue of Ekangala, Kanan, Zitobeni, and Ritabiseng, and those there's factories there, Ekandastria, which has been, I think, when the minister now, Hosi Sile Ramkhopa, he spoke about that issue that soon, I'm talking soon. I'm not fighting you, you must understand me. No, I just want us to help each other.
Now,
there was a promise that the people of that area will be. Yeah, I'm closing. Last part one, Chair.
No. You're closing. You're getting.
No. Remember, I have not finished that, Chair, because I was like.
You were supposed to have 1 minute. It's not 1 minute. My watch is watching. So I'm saying just finish your question and close. Yeah, I was disorganized by the camera, but it's fine. No, actually, it was not you who was disturbed, someone else.
I stopped, then I had to now.
No,
but that is in May. The last one, Chair, was about that Ekandastria, to say, when you send people to come and recover, sometimes they close, they bend, they close roads, they do all those things. Can you please assist the process? It's been going on for too long, the issue of Ekandastria, which can help for people to be able to get their job.
No, close it now. Close it now. Let's move on.
Thank you very much, Chair. Greetings to Mayor and the team. Firstly, through to you, Chair, I want to confirm who's the Deputy Mayor? The name? Is Modize, still Modize?
Yes.
All right. Can you kindly update us regards to the case that involves Modize? The case of corruption that is under investigation, whereby the Auditor General flagged it on a security contract that was alleged linked to Modize. In all other cases of corruption that involves payroll, fraud by an imposter, bribery by a revenue collection employee, including the Department of Police. That is number one. And then please take us through, there is an outcry in terms of illegal appointments, including the city manager, I think one of the team members was introducing himself as the acting CFO. So can you just take us through into confidence about the appointments of CFO, city manager, COO, chief audit executive, including the chief of police? Mayor, before you came into the office and the team, there was a report of insourcing about 4,000 security guards in the city of Tshwane. Please update us, because that matter was become a problem and also involves the workers of Tshwane. So can you update us, how did you resolve it, how far with that case? And as we are sitting here, Mayor, people from Tshwane, because of unemployment, so I think there are reports that they have just gone and occupied Roslyn Industries. So what is the plan with the city to address the issue of unemployment? Because now people are very much agitated. It started in Durban and all over the country, so now is in Tshwane. At least we are having you here. So there's the Auditor General is saying that you don't have an appetite of investigating UIFW. Can you take us through what are you doing? In terms of the fruitless and wasteful expenditure is increasing, Mayor and the team, from 793 million to 2.9 billion. So what could be the challenge and how are you addressing that issue? As well as the, you spend, one of the colleagues spoke about the use of consultants. So far you spend about 5.8 million on consultants. I listened to you try to justify why are you using consultants as well. The quality of your financial statement and performance report is very poor. Why is that? It is said by the AG. Thanks very much.
Sorry, can you just go back? What aspects of the appointments do you want us to look at?
You must clarify it, because there is a report that you have followed the illegal appointment procedures.
On all of those you've mentioned?
Yes.
You've had it's a written report?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, proceed. Next, yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is also on the annual financial statement, whereby when you read the presentation from the municipalities, it justifies the problem by referring to historical context and lack of capacity. So I would like to check with the municipality that when did they realize that there's a need of capacity within the municipality? Was it before or after submitting the AFS? And also, Chair, 5.8 million, it's a lot of money to be paid to someone who gives you low quality of work. It's like building a house without proper ventilation system. So going forward, what is it that the municipality is going to do in order to rectify this situation? Lastly, Chair, can the executive mayor please break down the 15 billion UIF and also indicate which department has contributed most to these funds, and are there any consequence management associated to this matter? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let's go to responses. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I will start with the issue of Hammanskraal water. Indeed, honorable members, that remains a thorny and really heartbreaking situation in Hammanskraal. We made a commitment together with the Department of Water and Sanitation and Magalies Water that all the communities that have been deprived of clean water are supposed to be provided for by the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant should have clean water by June 2025. And the project was in 4 phases. The first phase was supposed to be delivered in September 2024. We delayed to deliver until January 2025, which then pushed back all the other modules. The last time that we met the community of Hammanskraal with Minister of Water and Sanitation, MEC Mamabulo, and Magalies, we then promised that community that as we were launching end of June, it's going to take a few weeks to deliver clean water to their taps. There have been, I will call it excuses after excuses, honorable members, from the side of Magali's Water, who is the implementing agent for that project. We engage with them on a daily basis at a technical level, even with the Minister of Water and Sanitation and the Deputy Minister and MEC, to a point where we were even exploring bringing capacity for us as the city of Tshwane. Because we are responsible for reticulation, we have done the part that we were supposed to do. But where we are struggling is that Magali's Water is supposed to deliver 12.5 megaliters, but they've not been able to give that capacity. But there is some progress. And of course, this is progress within a failure, if we may put it that way. Already there is delivery. Communities were telling me this morning that water is clean, there is improvement in the water pressure, but we're still talking about module 2. But module 2 and module 3 will be delivered through the same pipe. So once we deal with module 2, we should be moving to the communities that's supposed to benefit to module 3. But honorable member, this is not a point where we try to be defensive about the broken promise to the people of Hammanskraal. I know that the political leadership from national, province to ourselves, we're working with Magali's Water to make sure that at least we need to finish the project. But there has been delays that we can't deny here.
Before you proceed, what's your relationship? Do you have a relationship where they can actually be levied penalties for the inability to complete the targeted undertaking?
So the project is paid for by Water and Sanitation Chair. So we're not involved in the contract management.
But you do have a letter of complaint to the minister, because we would like to have that letter.
Not the letter, because we engage in meetings.
So you didn't complain?
No, because we're engaging through the IGR platforms.
So the members are right to think you are the one who must be faced on this, because you didn't complain.
Yes, we didn't complain in writing, Chair.
In writing?
Yes, because we do have the IGR platforms to discuss.
It's in minutes somewhere that you actually raised the issue, and what was the response?
Yes, particularly with the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation. When there was an issue with the information that Magali's would give to the minister, which is different from what was happening on the ground. And we convened a meeting where we spoke about it. But it didn't get to a point where we send letters.
No, one of the problems for us is that this is how we do things. We start with that problem. The member comes back and raises this complaint. Now, when we hear the complaint, we want to know who actually is at fault. So when we listen, we think it's you. Then you explain that it's Magali's. But we don't hear what you have done to actually get Magali's to be held accountable. Then we come back to you. You see, so the issue is, if there's nothing formal that shows us that you have actually raised the matter, we can't take it up with them. They say, oh, we didn't know. Nobody complained to us. And then you must now answer us and answer the community. So we have a problem now with you. Unless you can actually get us that complaint, send it through to the MEC and then bring us a copy so we can go back and ask the ministers why. You see, I don't know how many people are going to talk about this issue here. I can tell you my own notes of what is coming on this thing. Okay? And to start off with, in the first instance, the cholera issue is a negligence of the management. And there's no other explanation in any part of the world. If somebody's cholera, somebody has actually polluted the drinking water and it's an administrative issue. You are a doctor, you understand the basic primary healthcare issues. There is no way you can deal with such a thing unless you can sort out the water first. And the deaths that come from there are very easy to prevent and are very easy to escalate. So the question is not academic. The question is, the problem in the first instance for the cholera outbreak was because of the failures in management. Now then everybody goes there and the undertakings given and everything. Now the community is complaining because things have not happened as expected. Now, must we wait again until another breakout of cholera? What will you say is our explanation that when we've actually been warned that the thing does cause deaths and cholera and deaths, but all of a sudden it comes back again, but the municipality has been there, the provincial government has been there, the national government has been there, everybody has been there, and undertakings were made. At the end, people are going to be affected by cholera. I mean, what are we saying to our people? That's the problem. So we can't leave it as that. I understand you feeling very regretful about it, but I'm saying, if you haven't got a provable step that you have taken, then you're actually putting us into a problem, because we actually think it's you who's not actually reporting that this thing is not working, it's not being done. If it was raised in the meeting, then we want to see the letters. That actually, if we speak in a meeting, there must be a formal thing that we can use and follow up as proof that actually the right authority was approached and made aware. Because then we would leave you and go to talk to the Minister of Water and Sanitation. Now we can't. On what basis? Oh, no, I've got a report, everything's going well. How do we tell them it's wrong? That's the issue. That is the issue. So you have to rectify that, because we can't move on other than actually thinking that you are the ones who are neglecting. You're monitoring, but you're not talking about it. If you talk about it in private and in meetings, and there's no record anywhere, when problems come back, we will think you are responsible. So that's why I'm actually saying it doesn't end there. Please move on with the questions.
Thank you, Chair, and indeed that shall be rectified. On the issue of the relief scheme, Honourable Member, it's definitely one of the things we're considering, because the uptake was quite slow at the beginning, and because there was misinformation about what the scheme is saying, but also the issue of awareness. We have received over 22,000 applications for the scheme. We then said, let's close, let's process so we can learn from the process, because it was not a simple process as well. So it's definitely something that we will consider to take back to council to reopen once we finish with the over 22,000 applications that we have. The issue of bronchosprate, we're still dealing with issue of the border issues, cross-boundary issues as the city of Tshwane. It's not only Ekandastria, the Babelegi Industrial, the Rangoa Industrial. It's something that we continuously raise with the province, the premier, the relevant MEC for Kota, and other ministers, because it's something that has not only stalled economic development, especially in the former industrial areas, but the issue of title deeds that from Mpumalanga as well as Northwest. We have made progress with Northwest, but specifically on the issue of Ekandastria, it's one of those issues, but we are in touch with the industries in the Region 7, including those that are in Ekandastria. The issue of irregularities in the appointments of senior managers, specifically the irregularity that was identified was on one position. That one position was the position of the management and support officer. We approved the appointment, I think, February 2025. The MEC wrote back to us around 2nd of June, where he raised that the composition of our panel included 2 councillors, and the regulations don't allow so. In our response to the MEC, we said this has been a trend in the city, that all the Section 56, in fact, the Section 56 that you have identified there, the composition of the panel included the 2 councillors. And we then sent a subsequent letter to say, now that we have read the resolutions for the city manager appointment, also that panel had 2 councillors. Can we get guidance on it? We then left it with the MEC, who then contacted National Cocta and yet to guide us in terms of how we are dealing with that issue. So I just needed to clarify the nature of the irregularity. It was in the composition of, and we are just waiting for Cocta then to guide us in that regard. The issue of the insourcing, in 2019, yes, the agreement was that there should be 4,000 security guards that are insourced. Fast forward to 2021, the mayor then was Mayor Randall, so that should be the correct financial year. There was a resolution where council decided not to insource the 4,000 anymore, but instead insource the ones that were already on the system, which was 1,283. Security guards. There is that resolution, and so what the current resolution that we have and the principal decision that we've taken is that those security guards were insourced without benefits. So you have people that have not been deployed to work, they don't have PPE, they don't have tools of trade, and the principal decision that we've taken was to say, can we please complete the insourcing process, which would include empowering them. The training has started. I mean, it's been happening for a couple of weeks now. There is a report that we approved in terms of phasing in the benefits for those.
Just hold on a bit. What is the issue? Take the sorry. Put the thing here. Okay, proceed.
So the recent report that we took was that we're going to phase in the benefits which we have approved already. So the number that we are currently working with is the 1,283. You raised an issue about the unemployment rate in the city of Tshwane. Indeed, the unemployment rate has been increasing in the city of Tshwane, that in the first quarter, our unemployment rate increased to 38.7%. And most of that, about 60% of the people that are unemployed are young people in the city. However, we saw some degree of progress in the quarter two, which is the latest, where 57,000 new jobs that were created in Gauteng, which was 85% of the jobs created in Gauteng came from Tshwane, which is something that we are looking into to say, what were the causes, how do we capitalize? But obviously, we don't want accidental successes. The city in April adopted an economic revitalization strategy for 2025 to 2029. In that economic revitalization, just briefly, we identified 11 sectors that already exist in Tshwane, that if we support them, it can attract those sectors can attract between 17 to 26 billion rands over the 5 years, which translates into average of 3.9% economic growth. But in real job creation should give us about 80,000 new jobs, both in the formal and informal sector. But we didn't end there, because we need to support the sectors. Next week, on the 10th, we have an investment summit where we are targeting to attract about 5 billion rand by December of investment into the city, which include the investment that's already in the pipeline. And we are taking investors on board in terms of the interventions that we are making as an incentive to invest in Tshwane, the infrastructure development plans that we have, but also the assets that are owned by the city that will enable the sectors to thrive. So that's the one that I wanted to touch on. In terms of what are we doing, we saw the images in Roslyn, and it's something that we should concern all of us. In terms of the investigations of the UIWF's honorable member, I did say at the beginning that we did not, yes, AG for the 2023-2024 had said that we're not doing anything, but we took that seriously. So in the past financial year, we were able to investigate over 14 billion rands, and further 4 billion rands is being investigated this financial year. What we have done of the 14 billion rand that has been investigated already, 10 billion has already been processed by MPEC, and the further 4 billion rand has already been submitted to MPEC for processing. So we took it seriously that even during the adjustment budget, we allocated additional funds just to augment the capacity to investigate. So I just wanted to give that assurance as well that it's something that we take seriously in our efforts to improve our audit outcomes, but also how the city just hold people accountable, because there is monies that are recommended to be recovered from individuals and companies as a result of those of the processing by MPEC.
Sorry, honourable members, we will not do any tea break, but tea is available. So please take your own break and go and have some tea and come back. We will not take a break. Please deal with the next issues. There's a question here I was hoping you were going to deal with. The case involving Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I didn't touch on that. When the issue was raised by one of the members of council, I obviously referred it to be investigated. We appointed an investigator. The city manager tells me that I'm getting the outcomes of the investigation tomorrow. We can share the outcomes. I haven't seen them as yet, but that's where we are in terms of that investigation.
Chairperson, just in terms of the consequence management of the UIFW, in the pack that we have provided, we've indicated that 65 disciplinary actions were recommended against officials, and 49 control improvements were also recommended. That was only in respect of UIFW. In general, in terms of holding people to account for less serious cases during the course of 2023-24, there were just in excess of 220. Let me see. Yeah, 220 cases for 24. For 23-24, and then 423 for the next financial year, for the one that just passed. But those were consequence management for less serious cases, which would include the TMPD. My apologies for reading, but I'm getting information as the questions are being answered. If need be, we can give this to you in writing as well, so that it's part of the record. Similarly, there was also the question on the TMPD. There were allegations made of misconduct. We are investigating it, and there's a report that will go to council at its next meeting, and we can share that report with you as well. Okay, we've dealt with the appointments of the 56s. Then my colleague will deal with the use of consultants, because I'm not quite sure exactly which consultants, but I'll allow him to deal with that. The performance report is a thorny issue, because it speaks to the lack of management of performance. Because the issue that the AG has raised with us is that you say you have reported, you say you have performed, but the evidence that you are giving to us is not reliable. That shows that there is a problem with the management of performance. So during the course of this, of the past financial year, we have put considerable effort into improving the quality of the information that we get on a quarterly basis. That would have included also adding to the capacity, appointing personnel that would then also deal with that kind of managerial processes. So that has then also happened, and we should be able to see during the course of this audit what kind of improvement that would have brought to bear. So the lack of capacity really, as I've indicated earlier, becomes more apparent as you try to correct the system. Then you realize that those vacancies that one would have ignored, those are the managerial vacancies that would have enabled you to have sufficient control over what was happening on the ground, and hence the investment in that kind of capacity. Thank you, Chairperson.
Yes, I have. Thank you, Chair. Perhaps from the last round, there was a question on what are the internal control measures to prevent future recurrence of the irregular expenditure. I think when I was looking at my notes, I noted that we had missed that. One of the things I wanted to indicate is that emanating from the AG's report, of which, as the city acknowledged, the city embarked on a proactive forensic assurance on qualifying tenders, which is conducted once the BEC has done its evaluation. The purpose of this review is to provide assurance through to the accounting officer, the CM, as well as the BAC, that what is brought before them at least has undergone some probity checks, and the threshold currently for that, it's tenders above 20 million. And in instances after internal audit have looked at the probity aspect of those tenders, and if none of those could actually be cured, what then happens, it is recommended through to the CM that tender be cancelled, and then it be addressed as such. Again, on the issue particularly relating through to fruitless and wasteful expenditure, part of is that what is the primary cause? You'd recall that the city, obviously, we did acknowledge that it had liquidity challenges, and the plans that have been put through, particularly with the mayoral charter on financial recovery and so forth, has resulted in this turnaround. Hence, we're starting to see the green shoots. But primarily, the city was unable to honor its obligations towards ESCOM. That resulted in a debt having accumulated to the tune of about 6.6 billion, which was not being paid. And you'll recall that in December last year, the city then concluded an agreement with ESCOM, which through agreement was made an order of court, such that all those arrear amounts are actually ring-fenced on certain conditions, that the city maintains the current account on current, and no interest will be charged, and there are certain payment terms that actually guide the city and ESCOM as to how to repay that amount over a period of about 60 months. So far, out of the initial debt that we resumed the arrangement with ESCOM of 6.6 billion, 1.1 billion of that has been paid. There is a balance of 5.5 billion, and that enabled us as well to remove it from your current liabilities to your non-current liabilities, because a certain portion of that is payable in periods longer than 12 months. But the interest charges that we're incurring from this huge amount from ESCOM also contributed to the fruitless and wasteful expenditure. I just wanted to highlight on that part.
Asibambeke ivideo la, kodwa uma ubukele ivideo wazofika lesikhathi, ngiyabonga kakhulu, ngiyabonga. Ibalulekile le exercise esiyibona la ngoba yenza ukuthi omasipala babe accountable. Futhi ngiyafisa ugovernment ayenze le ndaba consequence management. Ukuthi uma ngabe unika umsebenzi wangadeliver, hayi phela ubuhola akungaveli kuthuleke nje ukuze abantu bezothuka. Ukuze umuntu azokwazi ukuthi mayisemsebenzini fanele asebenze. Ajeze umuntu kuthiwa uzoyikhokha imali yethu ebese ikukhokhela noba asikwazi ukuthi ungakhokhelwa inyanga zonke ngamali ama taxpayers qedwe ungadeliver. Funeka abalenze lolu hlelo ukuthi abantu babe held accountable. Lokho nje kuzokwenza ukuthi sibone izinto ezinhle zivela ngoba ilona lo muntu ozobe enika umsebenzi uzokwazi ukufuneka wenze or else they will suffer the consequences. Yingakho ngithi cha ngiyasincoma nale exercise eyenzakalayo. Bengayinake le ndaba yeParliament kodwa ngiyayibona inomsebenzi. Nokuvotela abantu aba right kuneyithelo. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Ngiyabonga.